Tom, tell me about Sherrone Moore.
Yeah, what's going on, buddy?
And thoughts on this.
Yeah, so there was a report earlier on this week that Michigan is expected to suspend Coach Sherrone Moore 2 games during the 2025 season as a self-imposed punishment in the advanced scouting case, industry sources telling Dan Wetzel and Pete Thamel of ESPN.com. So the part of this that's interesting is that they were selective of the weeks that they are going to self-impose this suspension. It's weeks 3 and 4, which are versus Central Michigan at home and at Nebraska. That will be the Big Ten opener for Michigan on the road. So it's like, okay. But they open the season at home against New Mexico and then they're at Oklahoma. So it's just kind of like odd. It'd be like, you're picking those 2 games. Like, why not just the first 2 games? Hell, if you really wanted to slap yourself on the wrist, you'd suspend yourself for Ohio State at the end of the year. But we knew that wasn't going to happen.
You knew it wasn't going to happen.
Here's the thing that I love. Chimdi Chekwa, former Ohio State Buckeye, host of the Believe in Buckeyes podcast. I've had him on my show in the past. He's wonderful. He put this out on X. He said, quote, "We really went from it's all lies to it's legal to everybody does it to there won't be any punishment, so it doesn't matter, to I'll suspend myself for 2 games of my choosing for what I did. What's next?" Chimdi hit the nail on the head with that. I completely agree. This is so like far removed from the whole Connor Stallions debacle, sign stealing, all that sort of stuff, that it almost feels like, are we still talking about this? Because the business of college football is not going to give Michigan the death penalty or suspend them from postseason play or suspend them for a year. If you take away the wins, does it really matter? If you say they didn't win the national title, they'll just all say, well, we won the game, so it doesn't matter. Like, this has been so bungled. I don't understand the reason for this suspension, and then also being so selective of the 2 games that Sherrone Moore is going to sit out. And, oh, self-imposed. What a big deal this is going to be. Michigan, yeah, like on the road at Nebraska, we really don't know what Michigan's going to be this year, so that could be, competitive, but we just don't know. Here's the real truth, I think, about Sherrone Moore, is he's still the head coach at Michigan by the time Bryce Underwood is done in Ann Arbor. And does Bryce Underwood spend his entire time in Ann Arbor as a Michigan Wolverine in the college ranks, that is? So I just don't know how much longer Sherrone Moore can keep up this, oh, well, we're the victims. And what happened a few years ago was, it was Harbaugh and it was Stallions and he was just kind of exempt from this. And if this is his way of paying his penance, it's a really weird penance to me.
It's weird because I also understand why you want to be in the Oklahoma game. He played at Oklahoma. It's his alma mater. He wants an opportunity to beat them. I get it. But we got to have better rules than just self-imposing bans. We have to have, I think, the Big Ten or just the NCAA lay down the law on what are the games you are going to be suspended for. Because it should end up being, if it is New Mexico and Central Michigan, it's New Mexico and Central Michigan. If it's Nebraska and it's Oklahoma, because those are bigger games and because of the fact that you had the self-imposed ban, or that now you're saying that, well, we didn't do anything. Well, maybe we did do something. Okay, well, we did do something, but you know what? We're going to handle it internally. They should have a say because of it's against the rules. It's against the overall standing, and you got caught doing it. So regardless of how it is, I don't have a problem with the self-imposing ban. I don't even have a problem with him missing the Michigan game. I mean, with the Oklahoma game. But why the Oklahoma? But why the Nebraska game? Like, also, here's my opinion on this.
He should have done 1 and 3. That's what he should have done. Hey, I'm going to miss the opener, and then I'm going to miss Central Michigan, but I'm there for Oklahoma and Nebraska. Like,
let me ask you: is it kind of
what's NCAA going to do?
Is that really a punishment if you miss the 2 easiest games on your schedule?
Is it a slap in the face, though, to Nebraska saying, oh, yeah, our head coach is going to be out there, Matt Rule, congratulations. This isn't going to be a win for you either. Like, is that what it is? I kind of disagree with Tom. I think that in one stance, Sherrone Moore is not worried about his job. If the new school president, because, of course, San Antonio is now going down to Florida, if he still believes in what is the future underneath Sherrone Moore. And if the boosters still believe that Bryce Underwood is worth every single penny and he's not asking for more money in NIL and he doesn't leave and they're able to have sustainable success, which is 9-3, 10-2, be in that college football playoff hunt, I don't think that he's out of a job. I also don't know if he was the right hire to begin with, but I understand why you made that hire. Because if you wanted to keep continuity with the rest of the roster after winning a national championship, knowing that Jim Harbaugh was gone, and this was his right-hand man waiting in the wings to hopefully eventually get that opportunity to coach elsewhere. And sometimes it ends up working. Marcus Freeman was a name that I think a lot of people were underwhelmed at the hire at the national perspective because if he's never been a head coach before and you're taking over at Notre Dame and he's been to a national championship faster than Brian Kelly did and he's been to the same number of national championships that Brian Kelly went to when he was at Notre Dame. So maybe that could be the case for Sherrone Moore. But at this point, can we all agree that Michigan got caught cheating? What they did was illegal. You're openly going out of your way to say we're going to have self-imposing bans because if we know we messed up, but it also doesn't matter because of at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Take away the national championship that they won and they're still going to claim? That's the dumb part when people scream all the time, oh, well, Michigan doesn't deserve the national championship. Tell that to their fans. They're never going to take that away. I'm a Houston Astros fan. 2017, we cheated. Bang, bang. Everyone knows it. Guess what? Everybody in Houston still claims the 2017 World Series champion Houston Astros is one of the best teams in baseball. They're still going to do the exact same thing out in Ann Arbor. So you can take away the title. You can strip them for quote-unquote the trophy. You can go ahead and say they cheated. It was against the rules. It's not going to matter. Sherrone Moore's going to have a 2-game suspension. I probably would suspend him for 2 bigger games than Nebraska and Central Michigan, but that's just my 2 cents. Do what you got to do behind closed doors and get ready for regular season.
I have such conflicting thoughts here. I think it's hilarious that he picked, the 2 games that he wanted, right? And had Central Michigan and Nebraska been weeks 1 and weeks 2, I don't think anybody would balk at that, right? I almost remember, and I might just be making this up 100%, which as an FSU fan, you just have to make stuff up. But I almost remember Saban or Smart suspending a guy for week 2 when they had a big game. They had an internal thing and they ended up suspending a guy for week 2 because they had a big game week 1. Maybe I'm completely making that up, but I feel like this has kind of happened, but it was 7-8 years ago. This isn't something recent. I think that is objectively hilarious. Again, if Central Michigan and Nebraska were weeks 1 and week 2, I don't think it'd be a big deal. I think we would just say oh, they got lucky that Oklahoma was week 3. We'd be talking, well, should this be a 3-game ban or whatever? So I think that part's hilarious. I also think it's hilarious Michigan is doing anything here because I do think we are getting so very close to the time where the NCAA is virtually irrelevant in college football. And I understand that the cheating allegations are very different than NIL stuff, but they're not even allowed to enforce NIL rules right now. They're not even allowed to enforce inducement rules right now. Tennessee and Virginia suing the NCAA, that hasn't lifted. And so I almost wonder why is Michigan still, why are they doing this at all? Right? Why pick weeks 3 and 4? I would literally just say, no, we're going to ignore that. And if the Big Ten comes down on you, I think that's probably a little bit stronger. But if I'm Michigan, I'm not doing anything because I don't think the NCAA runs our sport in 3-4 years. I think that we are moving towards a new governing body. And so that's probably what has me the most confused. If I'm Michigan, I'm not self-imposing anything, and I'm not listening to any rules that the NCAA comes down with either. Now, if the Big Ten steps in the middle of that and says hey, they suspend you for 2 games, you got to sit out, then I'm probably rolling with it. But I don't know. The NCAA doesn't even run our postseason. And so who cares that you said I was suspended? I'm going to show up. I'm going to be there Saturday. I'm going to coach the team. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad take. I don't know. But I think I would just ignore it. I don't think I would have imposed anything. And I think I'd have gone, like what Cole was saying earlier, double middle fingers up. I ain't effing leaving by DiCaprio.
Here's a fun one for you. Why are you now having a self-imposed ban on an away game? Shouldn't you, with the home field environment, have a home matchup to where you're banned? And don't tell me that Central Michigan is the home matchup. Spare me.
Maybe he's going to be on Central Michigan's sideline for that one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Really take it full circle.
Is Connor Stallion's twin brother going to be there with you? Is he going to be holding your hand and guiding you through the Chippewas? Do the Washington game. That's a game to where, hey, these are 2 evenly matched teams. You have the home atmosphere on your side. Jed Fish has a quarterback that might be better than what Bryce Underwood is right now with Damon Williams. We're going to take away the advantage of you having your head coach for this matchup. Chip Lindsey, get ready to show why you're the right guy for the job. You're not, but guess what? We're going to figure out why you're the right guy for the job. Do that. rather than have him miss the Nebraska game. Because all you're doing is you're saying, oh, well, if we lose to Nebraska, we didn't have our head coach and it was a road environment and a hostile atmosphere. You should be punished in ways, if you are going to be punished, which I agree with TJ. Hey, the NCAA, are you really going to care about this? Nope. Okay, cool. I'm going to stay on the sidelines. You can't tell me to do it otherwise. But if you're really going to care about this, do it for a game that's in your own backyard. Do it for one that is going to have ramifications with an evenly matched team. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Are we really going to continue to sell ourselves? Like, selling ourselves that this is the year that Nebraska finally puts it all together is like selling ourselves Texas A&M is finally going to be an 11-1 team. Can we stop until we see it? Let's not put the wagon before the horse. And I like Dylan Raiola and Matt Rule too. But like, let's put a pause on that kind of shenanigans because I've heard it so many times before. I'm going to continue to hear it. I'm tired of hearing it.
Thanks for checking out this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're looking for more college football stuff, we've got it right here on College Football Addiction. Thanks for tuning in.